What are the biggest problems with the Aishi family? We decided to ask this question on Reddit, so we'll be reviewing the answers in this video. One issue fans have with the Aishi family is that their story is too repetitive. Essentially, the argument is that there are elements in the lore of the Aishi family that are reused. The most notable aspect is how Aishi and her senpai get together. Reddit user I Eat Batteries wrote about this, stating, quote, "Heavy on the repetitiveness. Like, I understand that's how they unlock feeling normal, so to speak, but the way that the senpai has been met the exact same way for generations is annoying as hell. There is so much unexplored potential with Aishis because I refuse to accept the canon plural and their senpai, but Alex is such a gooner that he wants every senpai man to get Alex's own fairy tale of meeting in high school and being kidnapped by Makati. It does start to seem weird when thinking about it. Not every member of the Aishi family acts the same way, so you would expect them to deal with their senpais using different methods. However, this is not the case within the lore of Yandere Simulator. If the creator wants the story to be more logical, he should change it so that every Aishi gets with their senpai differently. Doing this would make that lore aspect less repetitive and bring more variety. Another Reddit user also complained about this, writing, quote, "As much as I like the lore and how I don't mind it so long, it's repetitive. The senpai bit is usually the same and it makes it look weird." It makes sense why people would complain about this, as this would not happen in real life. It's likely that every member of the family did not get with their partner in the same exact way. If the creator of Yandere Simulator changes this part of the family to be more realistic, fans of the game would likely receive the Aishi family more positively. Another issue fans have with the Aishi family is how detailed their story is compared to the game. We know a lot of lore about the Aishi family. This comes in the form of basement tapes, different characters existing, and lore told by the creator himself. However, some fans have complained how there is too much lore about the Aishi family compared to that of the game itself. This was actually one of the more common complaints from fans, being brought up several times in our thread. Reddit user Puppy Doggy Girl was one of many who talked about this, writing, quote, "While the lore for the older Aishis are interesting, I don't really think they're that important to the main story. I'm alright with knowing about the first Aishi, Ryoba and Dozuki, but the rest of the family between them like Kataba isn't really that important to know about." This is honestly very understandable, as the actual game doesn't showcase anyone outside of Ayano and Ryoba. Why do we need to see characters such as Dozuki if they're not actually going to appear in the game? Reddit user FuzzyWonder8107 also echoed this sentiment, writing, quote, "Why should I personally care about Kataba, Ayano's cousin, her aunt, or any other family member that doesn't even appear in the game at all? I guess it's nice for additional lore, but they don't really serve a purpose for the main plot of the game." These complaints do make sense. If they do not have direct relevance to the game's overall story, why even mention them? That being said, if the main game ever gets completed, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to expand upon Ayano's relatives. For now though, it's fair to say the Aishi family lore is too detailed. We don't need to know as much as we currently do about them. We touched on this criticism in a previous video, but it makes sense to discuss it again. Fans have complained about the Aishi curse. Some people have said it's unnecessary, while others have stated that it's a bad excuse for explaining Ayano's personality. Reddit user FuzzyWinder8107 also complained about this, writing, quote, "I just generally don't like the whole Aishi curse thing. The curse is Alex's excuse to make Ayano emotionless because he says he got criticized for Ayano's personality and older concepts of the game. It just doesn't feel really creative to me. I was fine with the other idea that Ayano is emotionless is because you're making her what you see her as, which works because you do play as her. Using a curse to explain the protagonist's lack of emotions can definitely come off as lazy. One can interpret the curse as the game's creator not having a good way to explain Ayano's lack of emotions." Fuzzy Wonder is not the only user who has made this criticism about the Aishi curse. Reddit user Makai08 also wrote about this a few months ago, stating, quote, "The Aishi family suffering a generational curse, like it really just doesn't make any sense to me, and it's not helped by the fact that there is zero explanation for this curse even existing in the first place. Did it just happen out of nowhere? Did one of Ayano's ancestors perform a ritual that went wrong and that's how the bloodline got cursed? I know that I've already featured his comments in a previous video, but it still shows the issues some people have with the Aishi curse. Since then, however, an explanation for the curse has been given. Basically, the Basu sisters and their relatives are likely responsible for the existence of the Aishi curse. Whether or not this is a good explanation is up for debate. How do you feel about the Aishi curse? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. You're probably wondering what this section is about. Don't worry, it'll make sense in a bit. This argument basically states that Ayano's relatives are more interesting than Ayano herself. It's weird because Ayano is the protagonist of Yandere Simulator, yet she's not that interesting. On the other hand, her relatives have quite a bit going for them. This becomes a problem once you realize that Ayano, who is the main character, is supposed to be one of the most detailed characters in the game. Reddit user Stuck at a Roadblock has written about this issue, stating, quote, "What everyone else has said, the fact that the other family members are more interesting than the main protagonist. I think that stems from that time when Dev wanted to make Ayano a highly customizable character that the player can design to their liking. He needs to make up his mind about Ayano, either make her a character with a real personality, or lean into the whole character creation thing. Considering that Ayano is literally the protagonist of Yandere Simulator, you would expect her to have a more fleshed out personality. However, this does not seem to be the case. Instead, Ayano is just a character that serves to carry out the tasks in Yandere Simulator. If Ayano had a bit more of a backstory, I could see fans liking her a lot more. While doing research for this video, I found out that Stuck at a Roadblock actually wrote about this exact issue back in March 2024. They wrote, quote, "Give her a real personality like her mother instead of making her anime Agent 47. Dev Zaster likes to justify it with Aishi conditioned this and Aishi conditioned that, but it's a poor excuse to not give any flavor to the protagonist. The best we're gonna get is giving her our own spice as the player and customizing her, I feel like." The latter part is actually a counter-argument people have given to Ayano not having a personality. Due to the fact that she has no personality, the player can make her whatever kind of person they want. That in itself can act as a way to fix this issue. What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. One more criticism of the Aishi family we'll be discussing has to do with the family itself. It's the opposite of the previous section, where instead of Ayano being the least interesting character, it's most of the Aishi family. I find this interesting because I feel like people would view the rest of the Aishi families being more appealing characters. This will be due to them having more of a backstory than Ayano. However, some people have argued that most of the Aishi family is full of uninteresting characters. Reddit user Miss Skinny Jean wrote about this, stating, quote, "Besides the obligatory shouldn't exist / Pseudo Dev should focus on the game more, I find it odd that there's Kataba and the Aishi precursor which are pretty much portrayed as badasses that face off against demons and work for the CIA and blah blah blah, and then you get to the rest and they're just generic suburban family affair. Like, the only other Aishi that's even remotely interesting is Ayano's cousin, who is not only a generic punk but doesn't even have her own name yet. This is actually very interesting. Despite the fact that Ayano's relatives have more information that is known, that does not make them more interesting. Yeah, it's one thing to have a developed backstory, but if that backstory is not that detailed, then the character becomes less interesting. You could argue that this goes together with the idea of other Aishis not needing to exist. If some of the members are not that interesting, why do we even need to know about them? They already don't have any relevance to the game's overall story. That would also make them uninteresting, giving fans less reason to even know about them. Who do you think is more boring, Ayano or her extended family? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I want to see which of the two final criticisms you all agree with more. If there's anything to be learned from this video, it's that the Aishi family is one of the weirdest aspects of Yandere Simulator. I mean weird as in it needs fixing. The family has quite a lot of potential to be great, yet its current execution makes it a little more than flawed. Thankfully, fans have shared their opinions on how to fix certain criticisms regarding the Aishi family. Hopefully, these solutions will be implemented sometime in the future. With everything being said, make sure to watch this video next.